He's a baby killer.
Hang on now, baby spiller at most. It's an accident.
Well, all right. Well, let's get started talking about the film, The Stork. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. I really loved it, and I thought it was super cleverly written. A lot of really funny jokes, like just kind of like puns and stuff. I feel like you don't see that so much anymore. Just like good comedy. It feels like it's becoming more and more rare. I like filming and writing comedy as well. So I really admire when there's like good jokes in a film. Also, the acting and the way it was shot is just really, really professional and well done. So I want to hear your thoughts about it. But first, if you could introduce yourselves and just tell me how you got into filmmaking. So, yeah, either one of you can start.
Stephen, after you, Steve.
Hello, I'm Stephen Gallacher. I got into filmmaking. I think I always wanted to be in the industry from about 8 years old, and very much wanted to act at that point, and then quickly gave up on that when I got to college. Decided that like directing was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of the whole creative vision of everything. So then I went to uni, studied film, came out, like made some very low budget short films, like very, very low budget, and made a very low budget feature film that didn't really go anywhere. And then I got in the industry properly. I started out as a runner, worked my way up to first assistant director, and then all the way to directing and directing TV. So that's kind of my quick journey through
Pretty awesome.
about 15 years.
Yeah, there seems to be a theme with these interviews I'm doing. Just like a lot of filmmakers started out doing something else. They wanted to do acting and they switched. I think that a couple, filmmakers I talked to, had that. So it's kind of interesting how that keeps coming up. But what about Ronan? What about you?
Hello, I'm Ronan. I started out working within talent agencies and in TV production. So I was like getting the teas and doing, making people's diaries and all this stuff. And then some of the clients that would come in would be like writing, and I'd be like, I really want to do that. But then I did nothing for 7 years. So I just got more bitter and angry. And I was like so jealous of these people. And then I was like, well, just go and try and write something. So I wrote a short film, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, like just after the pandemic. And that's kind of where I started. But yeah, so I'm from the admin side of TV production, and this is me trying to dip my toes to be creative.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that I struggle with, is like waiting for people to give me an opportunity for something, or waiting for the gatekeepers to let you in. Sometimes you got to just do it yourself, and a lot of times that helps out. And it sounds like both of you have kind of done that, where you decided to just take on a project yourself instead of waiting for people. So, all right, let's get into this specific film, The Stork. I'd like to hear both of your inspirations for this. Like what inspired Ronan to write it and Stephen to work on it and direct it.
Shall I go first, Stephen?
You should start. Yeah, you should start. As the writer, you should start.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to write a queer story. It's like something that like that's what I did in my first short film. I think TV shows that are, by like famous writers and stuff that are on telly about queer voices and stuff, I really think it's important. And I was sat there being like, how do I write a queer story? How do I write a gay story? And it was just like so boring. And it was just like, man comes in, man is gay, end of film. And then I was like, I need to like do something different. And then I couldn't find a situation where it particularly focused on the people around the queer person, i.e. the parents. so I kind of thought to myself, can I try and do a queer story without the actual queer person being in the story? That was kind of my challenge that I set to myself. And then it was like Christmas, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was just flicking through the channels at like the dead of night, like with a Bailey's and a Terry's chocolate orange, and then I found this documentary. And this documentary was basically about how people in the UK go and investigate trying to start a family. But it's like the early days, and there was one particular couple who looked down I think it's Hungarian, from Hungary, where it's almost like Facebook, and you can sort of like find a sperm donor, and it's all open and everyone knows everyone and things like that. And then I was kind of inspired by that. And that's kind of where it came from, really. Yeah.
That's a cool idea. And I think it's also cool, like kind of like you said, that you wanted to make a queer story, but it wasn't like so on the nose about it. It's kind of like the backdrop for it. And there's a lot of comedy that came from different angles. It wasn't just that like one note thing, like, everything is about this queer theme. But there's humor coming from different angles as well. So I think that makes it gives it more depth. What do you think, Stephen? What's your inspiration?
I mean, literally that. It was like, I think the Stork feels like a breath of fresh air in amongst quite a lot of not just queer stories, but short films in general. And it just felt like something fun. We could have fun with it. We could push the absurdity. We could push the silliness of it, but still keep it really grounded in this really beautiful story. And like Siobhan's performance holds that so well. Like, that flip at the end where she's like, where's that picture of your mum looking slim, not the one from the hospice? And then she grabs herself, she stops herself and she's like, oh, wait, this is, I'm asking you to do this really ridiculous thing. And her performance there, that whole change, that whole thing, like, I mean, kudos to Ronan's writing and then Siobhan's performance. But like, I think for me, the sort of things that inspired me, I think Ronan and I chatted a lot about it, like an old comedy called Keeping Up Appearances from the UK was like a big part of what we kind of like, the aesthetic and the look and feel and everything. And then I was just pulling from like 90s comedies that I loved, Siobhan's speech. I always think of like that change in Planes, Trains and Automobiles, where he's just like, I like me. And then there's like, references to Mrs. Doubtfire and Home Alone and stuff like that. And I just really wanted it to feel like a classic comedy. We didn't I don't think there's any improv really in terms of like lines or anything. I think that also sets it apart because nobody's trying to do the improv to like one up each other. It's just, these are the good lines, these are funny, let's just do them well, rather than this kind of comedy that you see a lot of now where a lot of people are just trying the improv, but it feels like they're trying the improv in the tape rather than like they've been doing the work to get that improv right. Whereas this was just like, this is such a tight script, it's so funny, let's just do that well. And that's what we did. And Tom, Siobhan and Paul were all just incredible and just so much fun to work with them.
Yeah, the acting was great. And that's something I kind of also noticed, like how each character was written as a very distinct from the other. Like they stood out and they had like completely different, approaches to the situation and different personalities. And I thought the writing was in the comedy is just like so sharp, as I mentioned. And something that I've been saying about the films that I've selected for this festival is like, this is stuff like better than what you're seeing in the theaters. And it's like legitimately true. Like this kind of comedy, it's like, where is this kind of comedy anymore? It's like hard. Yeah. And it's just
where is it?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but it's this is just really so. Maybe Ronan, you could just speak to maybe a little bit of your sense of humor as well. I'm kind of like, where does that come from? Like the jokes that you wrote that are just really clever and edgy
Oh,
and stuff.
stop. I don't know. I think I'm just silly. I'm just silly, and I love like comedy that's just funny, just because we're like, where is it? Where is it? It's I don't know where it's gone, but that like old school sitcom I just love so much. But when I'm writing, if I'm like trying to be like, I'm gonna write today, like I just write absolute rubbish and nothing like comes into my head. Whereas if I'm just like walking around, I'll just think of a joke and then I'm like, great, write that down. So I actually the jokes that I wrote, I just sort of like thought walking around and emailed myself them. And everything I tried to write just ended up in the bin because it was rubbish. So I don't really know. It just pops into my head, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool though. But your influences, what would you say in terms of other comedies?
I mean, I love Father Ted. It's so different to the Stork. Like, there's no like. I've not.
Can you even say that today, Ronan?
No,
After
well,
everything?
I mean,
you can't.
But Father Ted growing up, I thought was hilarious.
Father Ted, it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Never heard
If
of
you
it.
get a chance to watch it, Dave, it's hilarious. It's about a bunch of priests in Ireland on a small island in Ireland, and it's the absurdity of it. It's the absurdity of like the simplest of situations. There's a Christmas special that I think everybody should watch, and it's the one where they get they're in a department store and they get lost in the women's section, but it's like two priests wandering around like a bra section, and it's something so mundane, but they escalate it to the most ridiculous heights, and it's perfect. It's just so, and that's again, it's it's why I wanted to do this stuff. It's Ronan's wit. I mean, he sent me something, a script for something. I think I had to tell him to take like the amount of gags out because it was so many that it was like we can fill a whole series with just this one episode's worth of gags. You know, he's a machine when it comes to that, and I miss comedies like that. I was watching a few things recently, and I was just like, God, nobody has such a tight script now where actors don't go, oh, I can improvise something better. And I think that was what was great about The Stork. Is like it was so tight that everybody was just like, no, this is great. This is strong. Like I don't need to try and find. I mean, I think maybe one line was added by Paul where he just says, "Not now, Clive," and that's it.
I
think
that's asked me one as well. He was like, so in this line, what is he saying in this line? And I from writing it to filming it and editing it was like 18 months, and it was like 12 pages. Yeah. And I just went to him and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, I'm so happy for you to realize yourself what that means.
A UK show that I like a lot is the IT Crowd. You like that one?
Yeah, great.
Another one that's just perfect. So sharp, so witty. Like,
yeah.
But that's the stuff I love. Like IT Crowd, I say Father Ted, like The In-Betweeners I love. Outnumbered, which this is probably quite influenced a bit for the script, is Outnumbered is, if I don't know if you've ever heard of it, it's 2 parents and 3 kids, but it's just it's all set mostly in the house, and it's just like the mundane stuff that takes it becomes an episode. Like I can't even think now, but
yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
We did a party and the kids want to stay up late, and that's the whole episode, and it's so funny. And like This Country, I love This Country so much.
Which is so lovely to have Paul in the film.
When Paul signed up to the film, he's like in my favorite, like This Country, one of my favorite comedies. I literally had to like play really cool and just be like, nice to meet you. And inside I was like,
that's Yeah,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say is like one of my favorite things is because I love Death of Stalin. Death of Stalin is like phenomenal comedy, and I've been lucky enough to direct two of the people in that. So Dermot Crowley was in my previous film, and Paul. We were getting Paul on board, and he asked to see some of my other stuff. Watched Harold and Mary, very different film, like completely very very heavy. And apparently Paul cried and then rang Dermot and was like, "This guy's really good. You know, this film's really good. What's he like to work with?" And Dermot was just like, "Oh, he's brilliant." And that's when Paul was like rang me and was like, "Yeah, I want to be a part of this." And I was like, "Great."
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have you, you know. And
I mean, we were so lucky to get all three of them. Like,
oh my god,
like,
yeah, they're great.
Ridiculous, and that's we had a casting director, Sasha Garrett, who basically
just
sourced that, and I don't know how he did it, but we were very lucky to get together.
I gotta watch some more UK comedies, you know. But yeah, they were great. All right, and let's see, like during the process of filming, is anything interesting come up? Any challenges? Any I don't know, anything that stood out while you're filming?
The fact that it was 32 degrees and it was the hottest day of the year.
yeah, 32 degrees Celsius. So
Celsius.
yeah.
It was,
which is a normal day in like LA, I guess, but for the UK, it's unbelievably hot. We had no air conditioning. We were filming outside one day, and then the next day in the kitchen was just horrendous.
Like it was like car, and then like the people that were there like helping us, like my friends and stuff, would just like go around and just sun cream the back of like all the crew's necks who were like holding everything in the sun, or like bringing in some ice and just being like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, the heat was probably the only thing that I would say that was like a challenge. I mean, we found this beautiful location. The guy that owned it was interesting, but it was a phenomenal. Our Katie, our art department production designer, she did a great job with all the little knickknacks and stuff in there. But the rest of it, she was like, I can just walk in, and the wallpaper, the kitchen, everything was just perfect.
Yeah, I like that. I like Live, Laugh, Lesbian. That was cool.
I think that was a great fun conversation, because I was like, I wanted them to be those sort of people that would have Live, Laugh, Love around. And then I was like, oh, Live, Laugh, Lesbian's hilarious. And then I found out that it's like a whole thing. So Katie, I think she crocheted that, didn't she?
She made it, yeah.
She made
it.
And then Siobhan took that for her daughter?
Yeah, I think so. It was, yeah. I mean, Katie, all the stuff that she made, like even like, wasn't there like pride flag socks, like just like
hanging on the radiator somewhere? Yeah,
it was so.
Brilliant's here.
Hello, I'm so sorry.
Hey,
no problem.
In his car.
Hey, Ridian, nice to meet you. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Good. So we were talking about Live, Life, was it Live, Laugh, Lesbian?
Live, Laugh, Lesbian.
Lesbian. The little sign that was in there, that was hilarious. But yeah, we're just talking about the process of shooting the film, and you were talking about the challenges like the heat, but pretty much everything else was pretty smooth. You guys were saying?
No,
did we break the road?
Fairly smooth. Morning was a bit rocky.
So, Ridian, do you want to take them, or the two incidences in the first morning?
Yeah,
I've just now thought of.
Stephen was. We all were after an old school sort of delivery van to fit with the vibe, and finding one was now impossible. We found one. We'd been searching for weeks, and we found one that was within budget and unbranded. And I went to pick it up the morning of the shoot while Stephen was doing rehearsal, and I'm in there signing all the paperwork, and there was just this almighty crash bang outside. And as we go out, the van that our production vehicle had crashed whilst coming around the corner.
Wow.
So we needed for that day, for that morning, and I looked at them, looked at me, and I was like, "What are you going to do about this? Like, something needs to be done." And they had one van in their fleet that was unbranded, that it didn't quite fit the bill, but unfortunately, we made it work. And looking back, I don't think it's taking too much away from the film. But yeah, that was it set my day off really badly. And then I was supposed to pick up a smoke machine for a practical effect on the way back, and the guy that I was picking it up from was still in bed and was expecting us to pick it up in the afternoon. And it was just a really rubbish start to our morning. It delayed us by about an hour, I think, start of the day.
Yeah, we made up for it. It was fine.
Yeah, Stephen and the team were fantastic.
You also, I don't know whether it was you or Katie, but Katie dropped the vial of jizz in the morning as well.
Really? She broke it?
It was like life imitating art.
Yeah,
imitating
exactly.
life is like she got up and she had this. Apparently, Ridian had been making it all week.
Wow.
How we're still unsure, but and she had this big container and she spilled it in the morning. So Ridian and Katie were in the kitchen, like whipping up some more spunk.
Oh, you had to make another one?
Yeah.
Yeah. A fairly simple recipe. But, yes, I'd spent, because Katie was busy with the other production design elements, and with it being low budget, you get stuck in wherever you can. So I said, "Oh, do you want me to find a spunk recipe for you?" So I found one in the depth, which at the bottom of the, step 1 add this, step 2 add this, cook it for this long, and then the last step of the instructions was add salt to taste, which we didn't do because no one was consuming it. But and then Katie came in the morning to say, "I've dropped the spunk, we need some more." So it was back out to Tesco's or other stores that are available to pick up the ingredients for some artificial spunk.
Wow.
That
would have been good for the bloopers or something.
It was like a whole.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so a couple unexpected things happen. Car crash and then the sperm.
Yeah.
But how about making those like little vials? Like, I guess you just bought them and then you put a label on them, or
Yeah, so we got them from a company, and then I think it was your wife, was it, Stephen, who made all the labels up for us?
I think, she definitely did all the delivery labels and stuff. And between her and Katie, they sort of like put everything together. So Anna made like, God, I can't even remember. There it is. Handle with flair.
Oh, nice. It's got merch and everything. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, the other thing I wanted to ask was just what do you think the message is of this film? Like, what do you want people to take away from it after they watch it? Just what do you want to communicate to the audience? Whoever wants to. I guess Ronan.
I was looking at Ronan to jump in.
For me, it's trying to celebrate the people that are supportive of queer people. It's to kind of just put the light on them and recognize that sometimes people are very supportive and it's happy and it's meant to be celebratory of those people. Even if at times they don't fully understand it themselves. But there's no like horribleness behind them getting things wrong or anything like that. It's just they're here to support, they're trying their best. Sometimes, God love them, they get it a bit wrong. But it's amazing that they are supportive.
Yeah, that's cool. And I like that the film doesn't make like a big deal about the fact that they are supportive. Like, you know, and another film it might be like, oh, there's this tension between, you know, the parents and, you know, but here it's like it's a given, and that's kind of cool. It's like normalizing that in a good way. So I think that's pretty cool. What does Stephen and Ridian think about the message?
I mean, I fully, you know, I'm with Ronan. I love that it was always, you know, these parents who are just trying their hardest, and they might not get it all, like they might not get it right all the time, but they're doing what they can, and it's so sweet and lovely. And it's not, you know, there's no big, like, and I think, you know, Ronan was kind of hitting me on the head earlier talking about he was struggling to write a queer story where it didn't feel, you know, like man walks into bar, he's gay, walks out, the end film, like, you know, and a lot of stuff feels like people cement this huge message on it where it's like, oh, we still need to talk about it in this way. And I think what Ronan did, he just wrote this script and was like, isn't it really funny and sweet? And isn't it nice that their parents who maybe might not be the most, like, I mean, obviously they're not. Siobhan's character, you know, all the way through shows that she's not like that savvy or up to date with everything. And, you know, it might have been funny to have the fact that she has a Daily Mail newspaper somewhere in the back, you know, but she's trying her best and she's doing everything that she can. And I think that to me is the message. It's like people can grow and learn. Things take time, you know, and if we can't berate people consistently for messing up when they're trying, you know, berate them if they don't try, but it's sweet that they're really trying their hardest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ridian?
Yeah, and again, you know, I think they both summed it up. And I think the other thing to really remember when you watch this is a very human story. You know, we all make mistakes. We all try our best for each other, and it's finding our feet getting there. And I think Ronan's really captured the essence of humanity in this.
Wow.
All of humanity.
But you know what it encapsulates to be human and to just have that affection and love for those that we hold dear to us. I think you've done that in such an organic and human way. And I think when watching that, we need to, you know, it's so easy to watch a film and go, oh, you know, that will never happen. But, you know, when you really sit back and you go, actually, no, this is human. Things like this does happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Last thing I ask is what did you all learn from this process and take away from it? You know, yeah. What do you think, Ronan?
I mean, Ridian did so much as a producer that there's too much to learn from him. I was just like, how do you know what to do? He just fixed everything. He knew everything. And I'm still learning things from him, even though this was like 2 years ago. But yeah, crazy how much a producer does, particularly when it's a low budget. I think you said earlier, Ridian, like you just sort of have to jump in and do different roles that you can. And also, secondly, Stephen might hate me for this, I didn't think a director had to work that hard. I thought they just would like turn up and be like, action. But he planned it. He'd been planning, he'd been being creative, he was working. So I think that was a thing as well. I've never been that close to a director ever. So I was like, oh, they have a job.
It's all a ruse, man. Like, I just pretended. I just feel like I have to look like I've done something.
You did.
No, I think for me, what I loved was having Ronan on set from a writing side of things, because I am, as a director, I can be quite naughty with scripts and just let actors be a little bit more loose with it. But this was something that I really wanted to make sure that like they said what was on the page, because as we said before, it's too perfect not to. It's so witty and so funny, and everything tight is so tight that it's like I don't want that looseness that you kind of sometimes have with stuff, and you're like, oh, I kind of let it go because the essence of the scene is there. So it was really nice to like work with Ronan on set and be, have that closeness, and he would come up with ideas and say to me, oh, well, what do you think of this, or that sort of thing. And I really enjoyed that, and like working with Ridian, he's just solves all the problems, and I might be sat like fretting about stuff and texting him being like, oh my god, have we thought about this? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine.
We text him so much, he must be sick of us.
Do you know the sperm recipe? And
yeah, exactly.
He knows
One guy.
But we like, I think we pushed the boat because, like, and Ridian, he's got some wonderful contacts as well, and myself and Ronan. So like all three of us brought different things. Like Ronan brought Sasha, which got the cast. Like I managed to help with the like post side of stuff because I've got a lot of really fantastic connections there. Ridian brought a lot of really great crew, and then like in terms of the VFX stuff that we got on board, so that it just felt like this whole wonderful collaboration that we were like, oh, this isn't too difficult. Like even editing it, I think we got the first cut, and I said to Ronan, like, don't be like upset if it's not funny or it's loose or whatever. And we got it, and we all were like, it's funny, this is good. And that was such a like joy. What's that?
I said, Ronan still think we've got the final cut. He's still passing.
No, he's still unsure, but it is the final cut.
Stephen, do you think in the future you'd like to stick more to the script, or does it kind of depend on the script?
It depends on the script. I mean, the tighter the script and sort of like the style of the film, if it feels like it can be loose and the actors have got that kind of vibe, then great, and I'm all for that. But the stronger the scripts I get, the more I want to stick to a script. Like, that's the thing. And I think across the board, we need stronger scripts because I see that improv all the time on stuff, and it feels very wishy-washy.
Yeah, especially when the dialogue's so like witty and intentional, and you don't want to lose that, because you put work into that. And I guess for certain types of scripts where maybe the dialogue isn't the main, like where the main humor's coming from, maybe it's okay. But when so much thought is put into the jokes and stuff, that you want to stick to it usually. Yeah.
Well, it's with this, it's like it's almost, I mean, it is old school sitcom-esque, but it's almost like theater-esque as well, because every line hits for somebody else to say the next thing and to respond off it. And that's what was so great. And that allowed the actors to have weirdly freedom in everything else that they were doing. So, Siobhan coming in with the pet and the way that we shot that allowed that to feel like this really grand moment. And just all of their little facial expressions. And I mean, Tom, when he gets the sperm into the pipette and he does that with his hand, is like those little fun moments that they got to play with, because they weren't thinking, oh, maybe I need to say something, that they were so off book and the words were so there that they could find these little other things that were interesting to them.
That's a good point. What do you think, Ridian? What did you learn from this process?
I learned so much. It is unreal. And I'm still learning. I'm very used to working with teams that I'm very familiar with, and having Stephen and Ronan on board, and having Stephen on from the beginning and Ronan as a writer as well involved throughout, has actually made the whole experience a lot easier, because sometimes with writers, in my experience, they give us a script. Once they find the director they're happy with, they kind of step back a lot. And then as a producer, you feel like they've entrusted their baby to you. So when you've got directors going, let's sack off this bit of the script, or we're going to change the you feel like, oh no, you can't do that, but you also don't want to strangle their creativity. So I think going forward, I'm definitely going to have the writer and the director on board as early on, and the writer throughout, because it really does heighten. Everyone brings a fresh perspective, and the director could say, oh, I think these moments should be taking this direction, and then the writer can go, well, actually, deeper in the script, this is what I'm aiming for, and then the director sees something else. You go, oh right, fine, well, we need to change this bit then, because it jars it, and it's that's what I've learned. And it's the producer, it looks like they do a lot of work, but really all we're doing is taking the credit for the director and the writer, because without them I'd have nothing to do.
Your life would be so much easier without us, though.
Not at all. I would lose my shit.
Well, I guess the last thing I'll ask is about any upcoming projects from any of you. Anything you're working on?
I just finished another short film that is just starting the festival circuit, which is about an assassin and his assistant, but his assistant is Gen Z TikToker gal who is pretty useless. So I'm trying to use that as like a taster tape, and then sort of develop a longer half-hour script off the back of that. Don't film with prop firearms. It's a lot of admin, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Look forward to checking that out. All right, what about you, Stephen?
So yeah, I've got a web series called Armor that's going to start production early next year, hopefully. I just got announced in Deadline, so that was very, very cool. Which has got Alexandra Burke and Jordan Luke Gage in it, which is all about the first ever Premiership footballer coming out as gay while still playing, and that is something that hasn't happened in the UK in the Premiership yet. So it's quite topical and quite set quite now. Not a comedy, unfortunately, but no, it's really well written, beautiful scripts again. So I'm very excited to be getting on with that.
Awesome. What about Ridium?
I'm working on a drama, psychological drama that deals with, again, it's another very human story, dealing with grief and how, as humans, we try to shield ourselves from it, when in reality we're probably doing more harm. And then once that's through development, these two are going to be getting a lot of emails to see what the future of the Stork may entail.
Yes, we do need to go to the pub and bring a notebook, don't we? And have
Yes, we do.
and have a think.
That's awesome.
And
maybe
comedy series.
Maybe I'll meet you guys in London or in the UK someday. But anyway,
come over. 100%.
I want to go. Yeah, I really want to go. But those all sound really awesome. I look forward to checking them out. But yeah, it was great talking to you. Again, I love this film. It was great, and I'm excited for people to check it out as well, and hear like the reception and stuff. I think people will like it a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But it was great talking to you all and meeting you, and I look forward to your upcoming stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Great time. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Really fun. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, Stephen, we're having about 15 minutes.
In like 15 minutes, yeah.
We'll take a little break and then we'll talk about Blackpool.
God, he's non-stop. He's non-stop.
Non-stop, this guy.
Well, maybe me and Ridian will go and have our own call, actually.
Have fun. Don't do it without me. I get you.
All right. Adios.
All right.
Yeah.